Labdien, studenti! Hello, students! Now is the next lesson of our Coffee Cup Latvian. I hope you have your coffee ready and also ready to learn something. First of all, I want to tell you a bit more about those reflexive verbs. Actually, we learned one of those in the second lesson of our course. Remember this sentence. Man patīk mācīties. I like to learn, or as we explained it, I like the learning process. Not to learn something specific, but basically, I like learning. Mācīties, that's one of those reflexive verbs. And what it actually means if we dissect it, let's do it. If we write down this part, mācīt, oh, sorry, that's in Russian. Let's quickly switch to Latvian. Mācīt, mācīt, yes, make them both long. I, mācīt, this is actually to teach. Right, so mācīt, to teach. How do we say I teach? Remember what was the rule? It has to end in U because I teach. So it is mācu. Es mācu. Es mācu. Let's put the S as well because it's important. Es mācu. Even though you can guess from the form that mācu is always me who's doing that, in Latvian we in most cases do use those es, tu, and so on. We do use the pronouns just because it's a tradition. Of course, we can skip them, and in some cases we do, but it's not like, say, in Spanish, where you can skip them all together. Not in Latvian. So it's better if you stick to using the pronouns. You will learn when to skip them at one point. But now, so that's why we're learning es mācu. So mācīt is to teach. And now if we end this reflexive thing, remember what it means? It means that the action is coming back to you. So if I teach myself, what is it actually? If I teach, but not somebody else, but myself, well, it is to learn, right? And that's what it is. Mācīties. Mācīties is to learn. So that goes the same with a lot of other verbs. Like, for example, the one that I mentioned before. Mazgāt. Let's write it down, right? Mazgāt. Mazgāt means to wash. Let's make it I wash. Es mazgāju. Yes. There are some verbs, we will learn them at one point, you know, all the structures and everything that end in this short option. They always end in U when we are talking about ourselves. Always in U. But sometimes this U eats the rest of the ending, like mācīt. Yes, not of mācīties. Like from here, mācīt, it turns into mācu. And sometimes, like in this case, mazgāt, it will only eat this part and add the U. Y, U. So you see the first letter is always U, but then Y comes in here. Actually, those verbs that end in U, these are the easiest one to conjugate. So at one point, I will first of all show you a resource where you can see how every verb is conjugated, but then exactly, it's actually difficult because, well, what does it help you if you want to speak to somebody? What does it help you if you know where to find it? Of course, if you have time to formulate your sentences, that's great. You can use the resource that I will show you. But if not, yeah, you better, I think it's much better to know. So that's why what we will do is that we will pay a special attention to those easier verbs like mazgāju, because it's very easy to form other forms. And then later we will pay more attention to those trickier ones like mācīt, mācu. But since mācīt is such a diverse thing, a lot of you, my students, are in fact students. So you are here to learn. That's why it's a very natural thing that we learn it straight away. Man patīk mācīties. Or let's now try to say from mācīties, es Es mācos. And that's the thing. Of course, the verbs end in u, but only if they're not reflexive. Just think about it. Into this, we have to put the thought of the action and the reflection. So that's why it's not an u, it's an os. Mācos, os. Es mācos. So let's make a complete sentence out of it. Es mācos. Let's say I am studying in Rīgā. Es mācos Rīgā. Of course, as you most probably know, there is another verb that is to study, studēt. I will write it down. Studēt. I already wrote it in this form, I study. So let's stick to this sentence. Es mācos Rīgā. But if we study, because you know the difference. Mācīties is basically to learn, but if you're actually a part of a university program, then of course you don't just learn, you're studying, right? So that's why let's make also another sentence with the verb to study, studēt. The best part is, this is one of those easy verbs. Es studēju, let's say at the Rīgas Tehniskajā University. Rīgas Tehniskajā universitāte. Universitāte. Oh, let's push it a bit here so that you can see. Es studēju Rīgas Tehniskajā universitātē. If you're a student of that particular university, you should learn that. Or you can always say, we abbreviate the name of the universities quite commonly. So you can always say, es studēju RTU. Yes, that's the easy one. RTU, believe me, everybody knows. It's a very famous university. If you study at another university, I'm sure you know the name. And I'm sure you know how to say, I study in that university or at that university. So let's remember those things. There are some reflexive verbs. So the verbs where the action comes back to you. To teach is mācīt. Es mācu. Es mācu. For example, I teach my daughter. Let's make a complete sentence, right? Es mācu manu meitu. And remember that thing that we spoke about last time? U. I do something towards somebody or something. That's what we have. Es mācu manu meitu. But of course, if I'm doing the same action towards myself, es mācos. Makes sense, right? In the last lesson, we had this verb, es cenšos. It means I try or I'm trying. Remember, in Latvian, there is no difference between like normal tenses and the continuous tenses. Maybe you've noticed that Latvians quite often skip the continuous tense. Well, in this case, es cenšos palīdzēt would be I'm trying to help. And even though cenšos is a reflexive verb, to be honest, there is no logic behind it. It's just the way it is. You have to learn it as cenšos palīdzēt. Cenšos palīdzēt. But then, at least, the endings will be the same for reflexive verbs. Cenšos, mācos, mazgājos. Mazgājos. Es mazgājos. See? Os in all cases. Okay, so let's stick with several sentences that I'm sure you know by now. This one we know perfectly. Man patīk mācīties. Let's also learn es mācos Rīgā. Es mācos Rīgā. And es studēju RTU. Es cenšos palīdzēt. And of course, a very important one is this. Es mācos latviešu valodu. Again. Es mācos latviešu valodu. Did you notice the o and o? Yes, they have to be pronounced the Latvian way. U into o. 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 Es mācos latviešu valodu. What does it mean? I'm learning Latvian. Again, remember we had this u rule. Of course, the first u doesn't work because in this case, I'm teaching myself Latvian, right? But still, I'm doing something towards something else. In this case, towards the Latvian language. So, es mācos latviešu valodu. So at least this part definitely works. How would you say I teach Latvian? Think. Very easy. Es mācu. Es mācu latviešu valodu. I teach Latvian. So that's why mācos, we have to remember, this is the reflection. We are teaching ourselves. Now this is again a very good reminder that even though you do have a teacher right now, me being my teacher, and you have a lot of maybe other teachers who help you, in the end that's you yourself who learn the language. It will be your brain to remember it, and it is everything about your own effort. Okay, now we have another video. This is from the same, basically from the same first lesson, but this is like the second part, which is actually the third part. It comes after a little improvisation, which to my mind is too sophisticated. But let's, stick to the second part and watch this little fragment and try to just catch anything you can. And then we'll have a little discussion and watch it again, right? Okay, so let's start.
Sveiks, Kaspar!
Sveiks, Lauri!
Kur tu biji pazudis?
Es biju Dānijā 2 gadus.
Ko tu tur darīji?
Mācījos, strādāju.
Ko tagad darīsi?
Pirms aizbraukšanas iestājos koledžā. Tagad esmu pirmajā kursā.
Es gan mācos pēdējo gadu. Zini, nāc man līdzi. Es tevi iepazīstināšu ar saviem draugiem.
Piedod, es diemžēl tagad nevaru. Tādu citu reizi.
Labi. Tad līdz nākamajai reizei. Zvani. Ieraksti manu mobilā tālruņa numuru. 2 64 10 50 79.
2 64 10 50 79. Ierakstīju. Es tev zvanīšu. Atā!
Great. Did you catch anything? Did you see what was going on? Kaspars and Lauris, the two friends, one of them, Kaspars, was away for 2 years in Denmark. That's what he's saying. I was in Denmark. Es biju Dānijā. Es biju Dānijā. Dānija is Denmark, and you know that Dānijā means in Denmark. Remember, we have already learned how to say I will be. Es būšu. How do you say I am? Es esmu. And now, thanks to Kaspar, we also know how to say I was. Es biju. See that all of those verbs, all of those forms, u. This is because, except for the reflexive verbs, if it's me talking, it will end in u. Es esmu. I am now. How would you say I am in Denmark now? Es esmu Dānijā. I was in Denmark. Es biju Dānijā. I will be in Denmark. Es būšu Dānijā. Then he says, and it's split into two sentences, es biju Dānijā, then he says divus gadus. This one means for 2 years. Divus gadus. So just 2 years would be divi gadi. In this case, he is using it to express for 2 years. And this is the way how it should be said. The only thing, of course, normally you wouldn't even split it into 2 sentences, but since he makes like a longer pause, so of course it's natural that you make 2 sentences. But in this case, yes, it is in this form for 2 years. I was in Denmark for 2 years. Remember that, first of all, Divi, gadi. With that one we use when we say I'm 2 years old. Well, none of you, I hope, are 2 years old, but just remember that. Man ir divi gadi. I am 2. But if I say I was away for work, I was away for whatever reason, and I was away for several years, es biju prom, that's away, divus gadus. Es biju prom divus gadus. Then, of course, his friend asks, ko tu tur darīji? Darīji. A bit difficult because it's long E, then Y sound, and then short E. Let's try from the end, just with the E. E. Then with the Y together. Y. 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 Then I. I. Darīji. Ko tu tur darīji? Can you guess what it means? It means, what were you doing there? Ko tu tur darīji? What did you do there? What were you doing there? Remember, there is no difference in Latvian. Ko tu tur darīji? Tu, that's easy, we already know. Ko, it is what, but in this form, what were you doing there? Like, it's called accusative. It's the form when I'm doing something towards something or something. This is the form that ends in u in a lot of cases, but the question ends in u. In u. Let's just remember this sentence because it's so handy. And in a lot of cases, you will ask somebody when they tell that they were away, that they were traveling. You can always ask, ko tu tur darīji? And it's definitely not rude to ask that because it kind of opens the door to the person telling you anything they want. Either very short answer, I was just there studying and working, or they can tell you anything they feel like telling. Ko tu tur darīji? Darīji, this is you. Singular, you. Informal, informal. This is the familiar form when you are on tu terms. We will not take a look at the formal form because, well, if you are with somebody on very formal terms, that's not the question you ask. Then you don't ask, what were you doing there? Yes, this is for friends, more. And then Kaspar answers, mācījos, strādāju. Do we know the verb strādāt? Let's write it down. Strādāt, strādāt. If we want to say that I'm doing something, I'm working now, it will be strādāju. What? But this is the same as I was working in the past. Well, that's a good thing. Strādāju now and strādāju in the past. This is in exactly the same form. So how do we even distinguish? We distinguish from the context. In this case, that's obvious that this is the answer to the question, what were you doing there? That's why he's saying mācījos. Remember, this is one of those reflexive verbs. And here we can see the difference. Mācījos, I was learning. How would you say I'm learning now? Here, mācos. So you see with the reflexive verbs, there is a change. Mācos now, mācījos in the past. But with non-reflexive, because, well, to work, you definitely cannot work to yourself. You usually work for somebody else, right? Well, except if you are the lucky one and you have your own job and your own business. But anyway, even if you have your own business, you still have to work. So strādāt, that is definitely not a reflexive verb, you work. So strādāju now is the same as I was working before, as strādāju. So in this case, we can easily deduce that he means past because strādāju stands right next to mācījos, which is in the past form, but also from the situation, from the question. Okay, now Lauris at one point is saying tagad esmu pirmajā kursā, which is again a very handy expression. A lot of you are students. Tagad is now. Tagad. Tagad. Beautiful word, right? Tagad. Tagad. Now. Esmu. This is the same from here. I am. And in this case, you see he's not using the pronoun. Of course, it's fine to say tagad es esmu pirmajā kursā, but since they are in the dialogue, it's natural to sometimes drop the pronouns. In most cases, not. Look, es biju Dānijā, or later, es tagad nevaru. In most cases, we don't drop, but in some rare cases, we do. But again, it's better if you just use them all the time. Tagad esmu pirmajā kursā. What is this kursā? In Latvia, this is how we call academic years. So if you are in your first year of the university, we say pirmajā kursā. I'm in my first year. Pirmajā, pirmajā, in the first. Of course, year in all other meanings would be different, but just in this case, because we have normally several years of studying, pirmais kurs, otrais kurs, trešais, ceturtais, well, piektais, and maybe even more if you're studying medicine. But pirmajā kursā, I am in my first year. Tagad esmu pirmajā kursā. Then they continue talking, and at one point you can hear Kaspar say, piedod, piedod, piedod. It means excuse me, or I'm sorry. Piedod. To be honest, not very commonly used, but it's good to know it. Really, if you're asking for an apology. Yes, I'm apologizing, so I'm truly sorry. And at this point, he's saying that I'm sorry, but I cannot come with you now. Because Lauris did invite Kaspar to hang out with his friends. So Kaspar is saying, I'm truly sorry, but I cannot come now. Piedod. Piedod. It's a good thing to know if you really have to ask for an apology. Like, for example, if you step on somebody's foot or if you accidentally did something, it's appropriate to say piedod. Piedod. Has to be Latvian. Piedod. Piedod. And now the last sentence that we want to learn today is es tagad nevaru. We already know tagad. What does it mean? It means now. Just like here. Tagad esmu pirmajā kursā. Es tagad nevaru. You see they are a bit different tagad, but that's like in any other language. You can say now, meaning like the whole year, or you can say now like right now. He's saying that now I cannot. And this is the beauty of Latvian, because normally in English and in a lot of languages you would have to specify what is it that you cannot. But in Latvian we very often say, now I cannot. And of course from the context you understand that now he cannot come to hang out with Lauris and his friends. But this is a very, very common way to say es tagad nevaru. To say that I can is varu. Then we put together with ne, and we have nevaru. Nevaru, did you notice that it ends in u? Exactly. It's me who's talking. Es tagad nevaru. I cannot now. So now I cannot join you or anything. But in Latvian, we don't have to say that. It's understandable from the context, and linguistically, it's absolutely fine to say it this way. Okay, let's play this short video again and see if you can catch those expressions and maybe something else.
Sveiks, Kaspar!
Sveiks, Laura!
Kur tu biji pazudis?
Es biju Dānijā 2 gadus.
Ko tu tur darīji?
Mācījos, strādāju.
Ko tagad darīsi?
Pirms aizbraukšanas iestājos koledžā. Tagad esmu pirmajā kursā.
Es gan mācos pēdējo gadu. Zini, nāc man līdzi. Es tevi iepazīstināšu ar saviem draugiem.
Piedod, es diemžēl tagad nevaru. Kādu citu reizi.
Labi. Tad līdz nākamajai reizei. Zvani. Ieraksti manu mobilā tālruņa numuru. 2 64 10 50 79.
2 64 10 50 79. Ierakstīju. Es tev zvanīšu. Atā!
Did you notice how he said goodbye? This is the very easy way we use in Latvian atā. Atā. Originally, that's how kids would say goodbye, atā. That was considered very, very informal. But as you see, 2 men, 2 youngsters, not 5 anymore, older, they say atā, atā. It's just really nice because uz redzēšanos, which is the standard form, is maybe a bit too long for now. So let's learn atā, atā, and you can use it freely. Okay, my cup of coffee is empty, and see you soon again. Atā!